In a quiet New England town, an old Victorian house sat untouched for decades, its wooden floors groaning beneath the weight of forgotten years. When the Harris family bought it at auction, they expected dust and decay, not whispers. Among the attic relics was a porcelain doll, delicately painted, eyes like wet glass, smiling without joy. At first, the doll seemed harmless, draped in lace the color of bone. Mrs. Harris placed it in the guest room window, its gaze turned toward the street. Neighbors soon noticed that its head appeared in different angles each day, as if tracking the movement of passers-by, though no one admitted to touching it. One winter evening, as a storm whipped snow across the porch, the house lights flickered. Mr. Harris climbed the stairs with a flashlight, catching what he swore was a shadow scurrying from the guest room. When he entered, the doll no longer sat by the window, it knelt neatly in the center of the floor, facing him with eerie intent. Thinking one of the children was playing tricks, he reset the doll by the window and said nothing. But when morning came, tiny footprints, barely the size of a sparrow's, printed themselves in the dust leading down the hall. Their faint outlines stopped right in front of the couple's bedroom door. Mrs. Harris dismissed it as imagination until the sound began, a faint tapping late at night, like porcelain fingers drumming on wood. The noise always came from different rooms, moving closer as the hours passed. By dawn, the house felt alive, every wall trembling with unseen motion. When the children slept, the parents checked the doll again, locking it inside a cabinet. For 2 nights, silence returned, then on the third, the cabinet stood ajar. The doll sat perched atop it, her tiny head tilted, as though amused by their futile attempts to keep her still. They called an antique dealer from Boston, who claimed such dolls were often buried with their owners in the 19th century, believed to anchor a soul to earth. He offered to take it away, but when he lifted it, the glass eyes fogged white. Startled, the man dropped it, yet the ceramic did not crack. That night, security cameras were installed across the home. The first recording showed only static, but the second captured something unmistakable. At exactly 3:13 in the morning, the doll stood on the staircase landing, its dress swaying though the air was perfectly still. Mr. Harris rewound the footage again and again, unable to rationalize what he saw. The doll's movement was fluid, not the stilted jolts of a falling object, but a deliberate motion. When he tried to show the recording to his wife, the video file vanished from every device simultaneously. Rumors spread through the town about the haunted house on Maple Hill. Teenagers dared each other to look through the windows, reporting flashes of white lace and faint whispers echoing from within. Some claimed the doll changed positions within seconds of them blinking. Mrs. Harris grew obsessed, researching legends of wandering dolls tied to ancestral energy. She found references to vessels of return, ceramic shells crafted to hold residual consciousness. The idea gnawed at her mind until even in daylight she avoided the guest room entirely. One evening, her youngest daughter screamed from the kitchen. Rushing in, they found the doll sitting on the counter beside a spilled glass of milk. Prints of tiny hands, glossy from liquid, trailed across the tiles toward the refrigerator door, then simply stopped. Exasperated, Mr. Harris decided to destroy it. He carried the doll to the backyard pit and struck a match. The flames leapt high but refused to touch the porcelain. When he stepped back, the fire exploded outward, hurling ash in the shape of a human silhouette against the fence. Family left town soon after, abandoning most belongings. Weeks later, new tenants moved in, drawn by the low price and scenic view. They noticed a single doll sitting on the mantel, a harmless antique, they assumed, left by the previous owners. The new residents placed it in their daughter's room. She adored the doll immediately, calling it Clara. Every morning, she told her parents Clara told her secrets, mostly about the people who used to live there, and how they were still wandering the halls unseen. Strange cold pockets began appearing throughout the house. Mirrors fogged without reason, and sometimes reflections showed more than one child standing behind the girl, though she was alone. Electrical devices failed exactly at 3:13 each night, no matter the power source. Investigators brought EMF and temperature sensors, hoping to debunk the panic. Readings spiked off the charts near the doll, then dropped into total silence as if the devices themselves were afraid. One investigator swore he heard a girl humming through the equipment static. Girl's mother hid the doll in the basement, wrapping it in layers of cloth. Yet the humming continued above ground, sweet and echoing, until one night it stopped completely. When they checked downstairs, the cloth lay empty, the doll gone without trace. Police searched the house but found nothing. Still, an officer noted faint impressions on the dusty cellar floor, as if tiny steps had climbed the concrete stairs. Those prints ended right below the family photographs hung neatly along the hallway wall. Paranormal experts debated the case across podcasts and online forums. Some believed the doll acted as a conduit, a remnant of energy refusing dissolution. Others claimed it was a psychological glitch, an unexplained convergence of observation and manifestation. But then footage surfaced. A delivery driver leaving a package by the porch captured a blurry figure just inside the window, appearing to hold something small and white. Moments later, the lights flicked off, and when police arrived, the family was gone. Local historians discovered that the original owner of the house, Eleanor Brooke, had lost her only daughter to illness in 1893. Records showed she refused burial and commissioned a doll modeled exactly after the child's likeness. Days later, Eleanor vanished without explanation. Experts analyzing the doll's porcelain under radiation found trace anomalies, like microfractures that healed themselves between tests. One scientist whispered that the cracks looked like veins, branching as if circulating energy, but the data logs scrambled overnight. The town sheriff claimed that sometimes, while patrolling late, he saw a small figure behind the curtains of the vacant house. He described a dim light flickering near its face, as though a candle burned within the doll's hollow body. No one believed him until the windows began glowing by themselves. By the next autumn, the property was condemned. Still, trespassers reported hearing a lullaby drifting through the cracked doorway, a childish tune looped endlessly. People who entered described time bending, phones losing minutes, shadows moving faster than the sun. Recorded EVP sessions picked up whispers overlapping in two voices at once, one aged, one childlike. When slowed, the child's voice seemed to murmur the names of everyone who had ever touched the doll, their syllables dragged like echoes from beneath the floorboards. Some theorists call the entity a glitch in reality, a point where consciousness folds back upon itself. The doll, they argue, is not haunted but misaligned, an artifact trapped between probability and intent. Perhaps what people see moving is not the doll, but reality adjusting around it. Urban explorers who entered the attic filmed fleeting movements behind them, small shadows flitting under beams of flashlights. One frame captured two glowing eyes where none should be. Moments later, the camera cut out, leaving only 6 seconds of distorted breaths. Recovered footage revealed whispers repeating a phrase, "You shouldn't have left me." Spectral analysts claimed the waveform mirrored both a child and an adult voice overlapping perfectly. It was as if two existences converged at one point, trapped inside fragile porcelain. When investigators returned a week later, the doll was nowhere to be found. However, the word "welcome" was scratched into the attic door from the inside. Each letter etched perfectly parallel, as if carved by precise, porcelain fingertips. Locals now avoid Maple Hill after sunset. Those driving past swear they see a child in white standing by the window, her small hand pressed to the glass. Strangest of all, on foggy nights, traffic signals along the road blink repeatedly at 3:13, though no timers control them. Nobody has lived there for years, yet postal workers still deliver small packages addressed simply to Clara. Inside are hand-sewn dresses, ribbons, and tiny porcelain shoes. No return address, no fingerprints, just cold, quiet fabric that smells faintly of smoke and lilac. The video that remains on the internet, a single blurred frame uploaded anonymously, shows a dim room, a little girl's silhouette, and something glinting beside her. Experts call it pareidolia, believers say it's the doll watching, waiting for its next home. In the end, the mystery endures not because it can't be solved, but because it refuses to be. Whether artifact, apparition, or cosmic glitch, the doll challenges the boundary between life and object. And sometimes, late at night, you might feel a gaze, long before you see its eyes. Perhaps truth itself shifts when we observe it. Reality flexes, like porcelain cracking under pressure, mending where we cannot see. The antique doll that moves around the house is more than a haunting, it is a mirror for the glitch we call existence.